I married Aaron because he made me feel safe. After years of messy, exhausting relationships, his stability felt like peace. He was responsible, predictable, and grounded, everything I thought I needed. And for a while, I believed I'd made the right choice. But eventually, the calm started to feel like absence. We stopped talking unless it was about errands or bills. Intimacy disappeared slowly, then completely. I told myself it was normal, that marriages cooled with time. But deep down, I felt starved. For affection, for attention, for someone to simply notice I was there. I envied couples who held hands in public, who laughed over coffee. I had everything I was supposed to want, but I felt like a ghost in my own life. When Aaron's son Caleb moved in after a breakup, I expected awkwardness. But he was respectful, quiet. He helped with chores, asked how I was, and actually listened. Something Aaron hadn't done in years. It started off small. I'd say I was tired, and Caleb would suggest a show to help me unwind. I'd admit dinner felt lonely, and he'd sit with me just to keep me company. He noticed when I changed my hair or wore a new sweater. He paid me compliments that felt genuine, not romantic, just kind, human, and I started looking forward to those moments. One night, we were laughing over leftovers, and Caleb said, "You should laugh more. It suits you." I froze. No one had said something like that to me in a long time. It wasn't love, it wasn't lust, it was being seen. Then came the night that changed everything. Aaron was out of town at a conference. I got up late for a glass of water. As I passed Caleb's door, I heard something, soft at first, then clearer. The door was slightly ajar. I glanced in before I could stop myself. He was lying on his bed, shirtless, his phone in hand. A woman's voice drifted out, unmistakably intimate. I should have turned away, but I didn't. For 1 second too long, I watched. Shame hit me the moment I stepped away, but it was tangled with something else, something I couldn't name. I sat on the edge of my bed, shaken, not because of what I saw, but because of what it stirred in me. I'd been numb for so long, I'd forgotten what desire even felt like. The next day, I avoided him, but the memory lingered. And worse, so did the feeling. I noticed him more. The way he smelled after a shower, the tired rasp of his voice, the way his eyes stayed on me a little too long. I started dressing better around the house. Told myself it was for me. It wasn't. It was for his attention. We never mentioned that night, but something had shifted. Then one evening, after yet another cold argument with Aaron, I sat on the couch alone, glass of wine in hand, eyes swollen. Caleb came in late and saw me there. He didn't say anything at first, just sat beside me. After a long silence, he spoke. "You saw me that night, didn't you?" I didn't answer, but I didn't deny it. He didn't react with shame or arrogance, just understanding. "You haven't looked at me the same since." I wanted to change the subject, but then he touched my hand. That simple touch held more warmth than I'd felt in years. I whispered, "This is wrong." He nodded, but neither of us moved. "I know we can't," I said. "Then why are we both still here?" he asked. I had no answer. What happened next wasn't planned. It wasn't even intentional. It was surrender. A brief moment where loneliness outweighed logic. After, the silence was heavier than before. He looked at me, unsure. I stood, said I needed air, and left the room. When I saw myself in the mirror that night, I didn't feel guilt. I felt relief. A dark kind of relief, like I'd finally exhaled after holding my breath for years. The next morning, everything felt too normal. I made coffee, sat in silence. Caleb came in, glanced at me. We didn't talk about what happened. We barely spoke at all after that. A week later, he mentioned moving back in with his mom. I just nodded. On the day he left, he paused at the door and said, "Take care of yourself." Then he was gone. Now I move through the days, smiling when I have to, going through the motions. But inside, I'm unraveling. I keep wondering, was I just lonely, or did I trade years of silence for one moment of truth? I broke something. A marriage, a role, maybe a part of myself. And I still don't know if I'd undo it.